In today's video we will be revealing Garrett Thomas's ring through fingers trick routine. We will also discuss whether Garrett even deserved to win the Fool Us trophy. Let's do a quick rewind of what happened in the performance. Garrett asked Teller to come join him on stage, while he performed sleight of hand right under Teller's nose. He asked Teller to examine his hand. For the first phase of the trick, Garrett moved the ring from one finger to another without going near the fingertips. For the second phase he asked Teller to extend his finger and place the ring on Teller's finger, while he held the tip of his finger. Garrett even then managed to pull the ring through Teller's finger. In the third phase he plucked the tip of his thumb off and then amazingly plucked his entire ring finger off. For the final trick he pulled the ring through the pinky. Before I get into the explanation, I want to give a quick shout out to my Patreon supporters. If you also have benefited from my work on this channel, be sure to pledge my profile on Patreon for a minimum of $5 a month, and in return I will prioritize your magic reveals and cardistry tutorial requests. Now, I will start by revealing the trick from Phase 3 and progress back to Phase 1. Phase 3 will be a tutorial explanation of how to perform the sleights he did, so you can go out and perform these ring and finger tricks for your friends. Thumb tip plucking trick. In the first part of Phase 3 he plucked the tip of his thumb off. This is, in fact, a classic magic trick. Here is how the sleight works when you are doing this trick with a ring. You will start off by placing the ring on your left thumb tip. Now, under the cover of your right hand, you will now hold the ring in between your right and left indexes, like so. Now slip your left thumb out and curl it. At the same time insert your right thumb in the ring and extend your thumb. This is so that the tip of your right thumb with ring is visible from the front. Now, to restore the thumb, simply reverse the procedure by re-gripping the ring in between your right and left index finger, by slipping your right thumb out and then inserting your left thumb inside. Ring finger plucking trick. For the second trick you start off by holding the left ring finger in your right hand, like so. You will then snap your fingers, to make the joint snapping sound. Now with your right hand, you are going to move your index towards your middle and then place your thumb on top of your middle. This is to make it seem like you are holding a finger in your right hand. At the same time you are going to bend your left ring finger, such that the tip of your ring finger is touching near the base of the back of your left middle finger. Now, to show both sides of your hand, you will curling index finger inside, while you are rotating your wrist, like so. To simply restore the left ring finger back on your hand, grip your left ring, like so, ring through pinky. For the third trick, which is pretty easy, you are going to place the ring on your left pinky. The only thing you have to keep in mind, to make this illusion successful, is to keep the finger of your left hand very loose. Basically, avoid tensing up your muscles at any point, on your left hand. Now simply slide the ring off, like so. Now we'll discuss the controversial part of the trick, that he did in the first and second phase of the trick, which Garrett claimed as pure sleight of hand. When agreeing with Penn's statement,
that really was sleight of hand.
If you have made it this far in the video, be sure to hit the like button. It really supports the channel and motivates me to upload more often. Also, be sure to hit the subscribe button. I would really appreciate it, due to the amount of time and effort I put into my videos. Let's start this discussion with what Penn had to say about this trick. Penn made his theory about how the trick worked very clear, by not speaking in code.
I'm not going to speak in code to you. I'm going to speak outright in English.
He explained that the gimmick was very precisely designed.
You have a ring that is so carefully constructed
that it would come apart, but upon inspection, if handed over to anyone, the ring would not come apart even at very close examination.
To come apart in halves, either with a very strong magnet or with a shell or something like that.
Penn distinctly said that if the ring had been gimmicked in any way, he would not give him the trophy.
If you have that ring gimmicked in any way, we're not going to give it to you.
Now, at this point, it was Garrett's choice to either lie and win the trophy, or tell the truth to avoid having me ever make this video on him. Now I'll give clear evidence as to how the ring is gimmicked, before I admit that Garrett blatantly lied in Penn's face and that He didn't deserve the trophy. I want you to watch this clip that I will play in slow motion with few hints, see if you can catch the gimmick. You can clearly see the ring is gimmicked, such that it can open up right at this point, which he was apparently trying to cover up with his right thumb. For those who may claim he was just too good, and had been switching one ordinary ring with another gimmick one, even though he didn't do any switches, but still, for the sake of argument, let's say for a moment I agree with you. Do you really think it changes the circumstances of him fooling Penn and Teller? Absolutely not. Rather, it further proves he is lying, and Penn's explanation of how he did the trick was actually accurate. If you believe this video is disrespecting the art and that it shouldn't be exposed, well, you must be living under a rock. The entire show is based on figuring out how a trick is done. Be honest with yourself. You don't need to convince yourself that he actually did pure sleight of hand, when at this point every logical explanation leads to him using a gimmick ring. You can clearly see it is impossible to achieve with only pure sleight of hand what he did with Teller, by pulling the ring through his finger. If he had only continued with the ring through the fingers of his own hand, it might have been believable to some extent. I believe Penn clearly knew he was lying at this point. This is because in an appearance on Vanity Fair while Penn was doing magic movie reviews, he mentioned how specifically not to make tricks look impossible.
Where everything being done in a magic show has to be in some way plausible.
He then briefly mentioned about the too perfect concept.
Because you've got what's called, and this is more complicated than I'm really going to go into, but it's called the too perfect concept. If a trick is so perfect there's only one way to do it, well then that's the way you did it.
Well, since the trick performed by Garrett was made to look too good to be true, we can't deny the fact he used a gimmick ring one way or the other.
That really was sleight of hand in every way. In every way, to come apart in halves.
You are tearing me apart, Lisa!
We're not gonna give it to you.